Guess who's here? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? You can hear me, Son's Fitness? You can hear me, Mom? Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do here is do as many of these as I can while I'm doing not crazy intense cardio. So I've got lots of Q&As that I've been getting over the last couple of months, and I think this is going to be one of the really good ways to bang them off, especially because you can hear them in my voice. And plus, I got to start doing cardio. I've got to MC at some bodybuilding shows here, so hopefully this will go good. So basically, I'm going to give you guys a quick recap of a rundown what's been going on with me lately. So first off, what is going on with me? Well, if you're still new here to party, I ended up moving to Calgary in August. I think I got here officially by August 8th. It was just time to leave Red Deer. If you don't know where Calgary or Red Deer is, they are southern Alberta provinces. Southern Alberta towns. And Red Deer was about 100,000 people. I built my personal training career there, and I just wanted more. Ashton, I can see you on there. I know you knew that I knew out of there quicker than anyone else. So finally bit the bullet, finally moved here to Calgary. It was been overwhelming. I think that's kind of what I'll go with, is overwhelming. I love where I live. I'm currently biking downstairs on the third floor here. There's a gorgeous amount of bikes. There's a posing room that I can have my girls come pose in. They've had Sarah Prudhomme help me out with here, which has been friggin' awesome. I love it. So gonna try to take advantage of that as much as I can. And so what's coming up for my next month here? So my buddy Bryan Krahn, you should follow him. He's not only a mentor, but one of my great friends. He's at Bryan, BRYNKRAH on HN. He's along the same lines as me in terms of fitness. He gets it. He's one of the few people that I do really get it. Thanks, Morgan. Hold on, check this out. Oh yeah. Did the hair fully for Tracy today, so I can send her a shot of it and say, listen, I'm still keeping it up. So, I've never been to the Arnold Classic. If you don't know what the Arnold Classic is, it's probably the second biggest bodybuilding show on the planet next to the Olympia. But now the expo is huge. And this is where every supplement shop comes, and where every kind of fitness personality will come, and they'll schmooze and they'll mingle and they'll shake hands. And to tell you the truth, I've had a client in it last year. Hi, Kate. But I've never actually came, just in terms of I was building my business. The expenses were there. And so it was like, but now, so I don't know if very many of you are familiar with John Meadows. John Meadows is having a seminar along with Dr. Scott Stevenson and Dr. Eric Serrano. Now, I'm going to try not to fanboy as much as I can, but these three gentlemen have been three of the guys I've wanted to see for forever. I worked with John as a coach 2010, 2011. I've only had email correspondence, so I'll be able to meet the damn guy in person. It'd be so great. I've had 2 phone chats with Dr. Scott Stevenson over the last couple of years, and he's helped me out invaluably. Dr. Eric Serrano is not only John Meadows' doctor, but he's also my co-host on my podcast, Austin, his doctor, and they say they've learned copious and plethoras from him. So it's 3 people at one seminar on, I think, the Thursday before the show. So Bryan and I are going to jump down to that and just soak up every last drop of that info. So I'm really pumped for that. So if you guys have any questions for John Meadows or anyone like that, let me know, because I'm going to be there dishing out everything I can for that one. So, but I'm actually not going to be staying for the show. The reason why is because I could have come back, because that is on, I believe, the 1st of March. And then I will be coming back to get ready for the upcoming bodybuilding season here. As everyone kind of somewhat is filtering into knowing now, the CPA, the Canadian Physique Alliance, has split with the ABBA. This is the 2nd year now. So now there is the CPA, Canadian Physique Alliance, and the ABBA, which is affiliated with the CBBF. The CBBF was the only kind of Canada-wide governing body that would be able to give out pro cards. But now the CPA is, and if you want your shot at going to the Mr. Olympia or Mrs. Olympia, you need to compete in the CPA. So guess what's happening in March? There used to be no shows other than June and October, and now there is 3 shows in June. So there is, I think it's March 8th, and then the 2 weekends after that. So it is the CPA natural or tested show on the Saturday. Then the next week is the CPA Open. And then the next week after that, there is the ABBA Open. So bang, bang, bang all in a row. Thank gosh I live in Calgary now because I can drive there quickly. So I'm very pumped. I've got my client Sarah Faye / Sarah Ford. I don't really know what your name is, Sarah or Sarah Faye or Sarah Ford there, Sarah. You got me confused here. And I've got Haley Wade, my superstar from last year, who has been grinding it out. And I cannot wait to come see her compete again, get back the frig on stage. And then I get to MC the ABBA show, which I love. I get to see David Ford, world famous photographer, get to hang out, get to see him make fun of me. What more do I want than that, right? So I'm going to dive into here kind of what, and then one last thing, as I will be meeting my podcast host, Austin, when I am in Ohio. Austin lives about 30 minutes south of where the Arnold Sports Classic Festival is, so I'll be able to meet him, show him how big I am compared to him. That's really not going to be happening. But just when you get in the fitness industry, you hear and you meet all these people, but you don't necessarily know what they look like. And so I think he's got like big mutton chops and a big beard right now, so I'm going to be able to like shave him when he's not looking. So hopefully I still have a podcast so it'll come down. But either way, that's so cool. I get to do that, get to meet up with these guys. So that'll be a heck ton of fun. Then also, before we leave on January 20th, Bryan Krahn and myself are having a photo shoot done. We're having a lifestyle photo shoot done by the world famous AJK Photography. Thank you so much, Ashley, for sneaking us in. Just more lifestyle shots, not necessarily gym shirts, ripped shirts, gyms off, ripped abs and everything, because I'm a little bit behind there, but give me this year, this time. I will, if you guys are interested in the story of what kind of happened to me with why my training wasn't so good, and whenever I can do something like this, if you girls and guys wanted to, are you more affiliated with the CPA or the ABBA? You know what? That's a really wonderful question. I was the ABBA MCs for the last 2 years, and funny enough, on Muscle Beach, who had defected or at least changed sides to the CPA in October here in Edmonton, they asked me to do the MC there. So I like my competitors competing where they feel they're comfortable, and also when is the show right for them. If there's a show in March that aligns with their schedule, let's do it. If there's a show that June that aligns with their schedule, let's do it. If there's a show that aligns in October, let's do it. That's kind of my deciding factor. And then I also like to say to them, are you going after the Mr. Olympia? Are you going after Miss Olympia? And if that's so, if that's your burning heart's desire, go for there. So that's kind of my ways kind of around it there. Hi everyone. Hi CK Fitness. Hi Marlos Martel. Hi the German neighbor. Hi mom. Hi the bearded muscle buddy. How you doing? Hi the next brokerage. Hi Sons Fitness. Savvy Pants Shop. How you doing, big man Chris? Let's just say quick highs here too. Hi Brittany. Hi Tiptoeing in my Jordans. How you doing, man? Hey Katie. And yeah, thanks for everyone for jumping out here early. Hi Brittany Sailor. Jumping up at Morgan, thanks again, so high. And thanks again, Ashton. I appreciate you. And anyone who doesn't know, Ashton's been, what did we hear, a 9-year, 10-year friend anniversary. She was my longest supporting client. We went through pregnancies. The girls, go take a look at her transformation. She's pretty much the living proof that you can get pregnant, can get a C-section, and can get a rocking body back in a lot quicker than you think. So she's my girl. She knows what to do more than most people to the gym. So let's go with that. So I took a couple of the questions that I was finding on the Facebook stuff here. So I also wanted to ask you too here. So I've been going around finding a heck of a lot of, we'll still call it misinformation. And I wanted to think about, and don't steal my idea here, like a beginner's, not book, but a beginner's like box of both bikini and a figure, mostly for bikini, a beginner bikini box. And what that means is, here are some good local people for tanning. Here is some good shops to shop for your suit, to shop for your shoes. Here is some place for jewelry. Here's some place for your suits. Because I still see people spending $500, $600, $700 on their first suit, and you don't need to. And I see people spending way too much on the glitter, the jazz, the shoes especially. They don't need to be more than $60 to $80 for the shoes. Think of this, ladies, a lot like a prom. Will you wear this shit again? Excuse my language. So if it's going to be something you're going to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on just to sit in the closet, this is why you see a lot of suits up for rental on websites, and that's great. So yeah, what I'm thinking about including in this box is like just pamphlets of info, a backstage robe, different tactics about what to expect. When should you feel terrible? When wouldn't you feel terrible? There's something that you can get and say, okay, most of these things I know I'm going to have to use, and there's going to be no questions left. No questions left to ask, because I still get tons of questions from everybody saying, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? And it drives me crazy that it's not talked about enough. So what do you guys think? Let me know if you guys think that's cool or not. Give me a thumbs up over that. And not, if it's a bad idea, cool, I won't do it. Let's see. Thanks for making commitments without. Okay, so yeah, here's from Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. Since you're doing cardio, maybe cover different styles of cardio, steady state, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. Liss, miss, and hit in different types of intervals, heart rates. I can't make it because I'm at work. It's okay, Kelsey, I'll show it to you later. So when she says liss cardio, liss stands for low intensity, steady state. Right now, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm still breathing easy to talk to you. This is just something that will get my heart rate going, will get me active. It's something I usually start out most people on, especially if you've never done anything. If you were a 300-pound person as a male and the extent of your cardio has been walking to the mall, you are going to die if you jump into interval training. So not only is that bad coaching, but just slowly ramp it up. It's just like I say with our weight training. There's always more weights. Ease yourself into it. So then miss training is medium intensity, steady state. So for heart rates, even though it's like some of me holding onto the gauges here, they can be okay. Fitbits are a little bit better here and there, but some of these machines are whacking off. So for low intensity steady state, probably about 130. It's not something too taxing. I like to use something called the talk test. Notice how right now I'm a little bit labor breathing, but I can talk to you and form a sentence. But now if I were to crank it up here, I'd have to go into miss cardio. This is what I should be expecting. And that's when you're getting decent at cardio. That's kind of the minimal cardio that I would want you to be doing. It's called miss cardio. So that's kind of explaining that one a bit there more for you. And then HIIT. So I will make the distinction for you between HIIT cardio, which is high intensity interval training, so HIIT cardio, and then just interval training. Okay. This one drives me a bit bananas because people say, yeah, I'm doing intervals. And I say, okay, how long have you done intervals for? How long have you been doing intervals for? Oh, 5 times a week of 40 minutes. I want to watch your intervals. The original interval machines were, I think, 15 or 20 degree treadmills. And like when interval usually means anywhere from 10 to 15, sometimes I've seen 30 seconds. And I mean all out, like you're being chased by someone with a gun that you owe money to. And so you are dying during those times. There's something called big wind bikes. They have like the huge fans in them as well. And I have a video linked on my private client forum where it shows the guys doing this. doing this fan stuff, and they're jacked fellas. And they last 20 seconds, and they actually have to stop in between because it's so hard. Now that is a high intensity interval. An interval is not where you can go 10 seconds and then 50 seconds off and go, I can do this again in another 50 seconds. So what I'm saying by that is the amount of girls I've heard saying something like, yeah, I've done 40 minutes of intervals 5 or 6 times a week. You're not doing intervals. You are not maxing out that level of intensity that we're looking for. Because if I said, go run to the end of the gym here and back as fast as you can, and you did it, and I said, without very minimal break, go do that again. Okay, you make it the same time, go do it again. If you still make it the same time, I go, did you go as hard as you could on the first one? So that's interval training. So for the most of my girls, and what they've seen is I will give them a maximum of 10 or 15 minutes at the beginning of their cardio if they're doing contest prep. I don't really like intervals during contest prep just because it just destroys the legs in terms of a recovery. It's not worth it. And then as soon as you get over 4 or 5 times a week for intervals, you're going to start losing the definition, and you're going to start losing the ability to recover in your legs as well. So so Haley, if you're watching this, what we just did with Haley is we hit her up to 4 or 5 times a week of intervals, I believe. Haley, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And then we added in MISS cardio, medium intensity steady state. And I don't think she said why, but the why is because she's maxed out for her intervals. And so now we'll start cutting into her leg shape and size. And for a bikini competitor, we can't have that go away. We need that. So there's other ways around it. So something like this, that's lower intensity, but she's still getting calories burned. She's not taxing her legs because that's turning too much into a workout versus a cardiovascular workout. Okay, what do I have here now too? Bryan Krahn says, don't slip and fall on the treadmill. Bryan, I'm way ahead of you. I'm already on the friggin' bike, so up yours. Okay. I have from Paula, Myths. I've got a treat for you here at the end, Paula. Colette. Hi, Colette. Videos on proper form, etc. would be nice too. I've had such a pleasure with having Sarah Prudhomme. She is I want to say national level bikini champion. I don't know if she's placed first or not, but at least top 3. And she is a dynamite, not only person, but poser. And she has posed quite a few of my girls for their bikini shows. And we've been linking up here for the past, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, and we've been recording a ton of footage. Things that I don't see that I can find on YouTube, things that I don't think I can find that I want done right. Like we did stomach vacuums the other day, and it was so flattering for me because she's like, can you show me how to do a stomach vacuum? I said, absolutely. So we did the stomach vacuum and I taught her it. And so what we're going to do is I have the videos on my camera, and then I'm going to have a voiceover of them telling how to do the exact video correctly. So it'll be someone that I know, someone homegrown, and I'll be able to share that to all my mega babes up there. So there'll be such little confusion with working outs going forward, because I know that's such a thing, and I'm so happy I have her here. We're actually recording next week for another 4 hours, so should be dope on that one. Okay, so here's, you know what, I haven't even released this podcast yet, but I'm going to give you the insider tips. Because we just did a 2-part myth podcast with Austin. And so here, I'm going to give you some of the questions. The first one is, you must train to failure on every exercise. And who hasn't heard this? You got to go in the gym. You got to bust your hump. Every exercise you do, it's got to be trained to failure, or it doesn't work, right? Like you didn't go maximal effort, it doesn't work. The first 3 to 6 months you're in the gym, and you're like me, who couldn't bench press the bar when all your buddies could. That's not failure. That's not, why do I mean that failure is that you're going to go, and you'll just be done. Your physical body isn't caught up to the mental body, and you won't know what to do. So then not only will you not be super physically sore then, but that the DOMs that you get from the day or after. So that's not failure. But so it depends upon the person, depends upon the athlete. 3 to 8, possibly 1 year, is when you can build up doing something called progressive resistance, which is like we'll keep using my analogy of the bar on the bench press. You do 5 pounds a side, no problem. You do 10 pounds a side, no problem. You work up to finally 25s on either side. That's called failure. So once you reach a level of strength, you don't want to go to failure. And why is that? Your CNS, your central nervous system, will burn out way before the rest of the body. I've been saying this for years. It's kind of my little trick here, is that the CNS is like the chess club of the brain, and the jocks are like the body. The jocks are like the body of the high school. Think of your body as a high school. So the jocks will do it all the time. They'll just go pick up weights, they'll go throw basketballs, they'll go shoot footballs, and they'll win. But now you piss off the chess club enough, CNS, and they're going to say, we're not doing that anymore because you whooped us. We need a break. Screw you. So there is a balance there. So once you get more advanced programming, you can throw in sets. Like, let's say, depending upon your program, you have a set of 10. Then you have a set of 12. Then you have a set of 15. And what I like to do at the end of my programs, put F, and that means that one's taken to failure. In other words, that is everything you've got. You've got nothing left, and by 15, you should have hit a big F, big failure. So you'll not only maximize things there, but then you're not blowing out your CNS. You're not destroying anything. Listen to the podcast that's going to come up. I have a really good story about the deadlift in it for me, for myself and personally, how it just destroyed my workout. So that's a good one. Okay, what's the other one? Going under X number of calories is not necessary to get into shape. Oh man, any of you here in Alberta would remember the anti-cardio craze, or the if it fits your macros craze, which Pop-Tarts and everything else kind of craze. And what that means is that you didn't have to do cardio. You could do so little cardio, but then you could just get shredded. And how did this happen to? Genetic wonders. Not only genetic wonders, but like people that just responded to food. Maybe they were lower food and didn't need any cardio. Because whenever you see things like this out there, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear no cardio, no supplements, robbed macronutrients from diet plan, it's always something else is going on. It's not just this one magical thing. It's because something else is going on. So for the team no cardio, maybe their food was really low. So once again, the question says going under X number of calories is not necessarily get in shape. That's a big bunch of crap. I remember seeing coaches promoting, saying, hey, my 5'3" bikini girl is eating 2,300 calories in the off season. She's a beast. She's beast mode. Beast mode. And that's fine and dandy for her. Maybe that was where her metabolic set point was, and just no one knew. And so that coach got her to that 2,300 calories, and that's great. That's high for a bikini girl. But I've seen 5'2" bikini girls. I've seen 5'2" women's physique ladies that have had to go sub 1,400, sub 1,200. Yes, sub 1,000 calories to get to the point where they need to be as lean as possible for stage. Now, oh, Marty, this is unhealthy. How dare you do that? It's not forever. I'm not giving them 900 calories for weeks on end. I'm not giving them 3 hours of intervals, the ones that aren't intervals anyway, for weeks on end. And we have a post-show plan. I've used the analogy of studying in school so long. It's like if you have an exam coming up and it's a tough subject, why on earth are you skimping on studying? Why on earth are you skimping on going to class? Why are you drinking beers, not sleeping, going with friends? Then you show up on exam day and you write it and you fail it and you go, how come I failed that? You didn't study. You didn't put the time in the gym. You didn't put the... And a good coach, hi Joe Jeffrey, thank you for jumping on in here, man. Joe will know for a fact itself, it's never low calories forever. And I say that to every single one of my clients, listen, this is right now. Again, going back to the high school analogy, you don't study for exams forever, unless you're my cousin Catherine, who's in apparently her 10th or 11th year of her PhD. I couldn't do it. I would have to get out and listen to dance music and run around naked outside, like doing the Wim Hof method, especially now it's minus 28 degrees Celsius in Calgary. Anyway, but it's not forever. It's to get in shape for that show. And if you don't get in shape for that show just because, oh, I might damage my body, I don't want to get into metabolic adaptation. Metabolic damage is not real. Metabolic adaptation is, and if you don't know, have a talk going over that with your coach, that's something to talk about. If you take a look at my Instagram highlights, I have a big section over that about the coaches I don't like that do that. Okay. Needing cheat meals or needing refeeds. Needing. The amount of clients I get, it's not insurmountable anymore, but they come. They've been around the block, they've tried a couple things. And they'll give me all their information and they'll say things like, so when's my first cheat meal? You've been having cheat meals every day for the last 7 years. Why do you need a cheat meal now? And they kind of go. And it's the same thing when they say, diet starts on Monday. I think I'm going to have a cheat meal on Saturday. I'm like, okay, so I want to save money, but I'm going to go max out my credit cards on Saturday. And they go, oh. And that's kind of the way to think about it. So we went a lot harder on this on the podcast, but refeeds have different definitions. Cheat meals could mean a chocolate bar to someone, could mean an entire Denny's restaurant to another. Talk to your coach about them. Do you really need them? Do you need them from a physiological standpoint, or do you need them from a psychological standpoint? Because they're both very different. That's all I'm going to say on this one. Listen to the podcast. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I might get in trouble for this. We went into DNA testing. So, there are companies called like 23andMe that will do saliva. Sometimes they'll do urinalysis, and you put them and you send them away, and they tell you what your DNA comes back with, what you should or shouldn't be eating. So, I will say the technology is there by like 2030. Right now, it's not there. So the info you spend this copious amounts of money on, you'll get back, will say pretty much what you damn knew. So in other words, if you give this, they get it back and it says, eat white rice, green beans, and chicken. It's like, well, I knew that. So, and here's where to watch for the scammers. There's someone locally I know, and their price was $750 for an initial plan, which is now, to my latest knowledge, up to $1,500 a plan. And I saw this gentleman got his plan back, the $1,500, and he sent it to me through his buddy of a buddy. He said, "Hey, Marty, what do you think? I just want to know." And I looked through it. It looked sound until I got to the during workout part, and it said BCAAs with Gatorade. And I said, okay, your DNA through this saliva strip said you need BCAAs, which we've been proven to not work now. I even wanted to know if it was a brand, if it was like Dimetized, because then that's just peddling money, straight up percent. So DNA testing is not there. It's basically eat what you digest. It's an easy way to do that. If you eat something and it doesn't agree with your stomach, don't eat it. It's that simple. But it's in the future. It's coming. Stay tuned. Let's see what else I got here. Going to next calories. Doing 2 things. Not change to failure. Don't slip on the ball. Thanks, Austin. I will say here very quickly too that I'm changing my coaching style. Now, am I changing my coaching and how I do it? No, not at all. I'm finding that a lot of experienced competitors outside of shows, outside of you doing bodybuilding shows, yes, I do require you needing weekly check-ins. It's just the body changes so fast. But now, and anyone listening that is a current client, there's going to be an offer made to you here too that I go down to 2 check-ins a week. So bi-weekly, you still have access to me as a coach. You still have all this info I'm going to be giving out. You're still going to get all the info on the exercises and everything I can. Just you do 2 formal check-ins a month with one kind of a how you're doing. kind of think how things go. Not only is it going to greatly reduce the rate that you would pay per month, but it's going to free up my time to do more things like this and to help people out. So that's going to be a very wonderful option for a lot of people there too. And so also where I'm heading here in 2019 is I want to start teaching more. I hopefully have some speaking gigs coming up. I want to be able to teach behind the emotional part of psychology in food. I want to be able to talk about how it's linked together, because one of my famous lines that I've kind of made up is I say, have you ever heard of mental eating? And they say no. And I say, have you ever heard of emotional eating? And they say yes. And I go, ta-da. It's not about thinking eating, it's about emotionally eating. And when we can get down to those structures and really kind of tune into kind of all that fun stuff, we will start to be winning. And that's the basis of my coaching. It's never just the macros. It's never, if you can Google a plan, you can't Google a coach. You can Google a workout plan, you can't Google a coach. How we work, especially the good ones, is we are a GPS. And what that means is we reroute you. When you take turns, we will reroute you to the safest, quickest way. We will know what to do, and if we don't, we will find out right away. That's the best way to think about it. I think all the coaches I've hired over my time are much more expensive than me. They've been worth every drop of money that I could possibly have so I can be able to do the things that I do today. But I'd be staying tuned for, and I would like you guys to comment and let me know here, either during here or afterwards, about something like a 6 to 8 week course. I don't know if I do it through Facebook or if I do it for something else, but it'd be teaching you. I don't really care much for the word mindset, but like I've been calling something myself heart set. Like in other words, how do you feel about the food, not just how to think about the food, and just teaching you to how to set up habits, to how to set up your life, how to set up post-show contest stuff. I've got some really great articles on that. I'm going to be going over on that, just more in depth. It's going to be like an hour of me, either live weekly or not live weekly. I'd love to have questions come in. I haven't set the price point at it yet, but it'll be something like 6 to 8, maybe 10 weeks, and you'll get access to me. It'll be a really limited membership option type of thing, just because I don't find enough people are teaching this, and I'm getting really limited with my one-on-one clients, and I want to be able to hit more people doing this at once. So let me know what you guys think on this one. I think it would be a lot of fun, and it will just get me a bigger platform to kind of talk to people. I also want to leave this open to Q&A here. I'm going to go through all the things here to see if I have any. And if anyone else has a question, please fire it out here. Thanks again, Morgan, for the nice hair. I appreciate it. Tracy came down from Edmonton to see me. Her husband was here. I was beyond thrilled that she could come see me. Let's see. Hi from Brazil. Thanks for coming and watching. I appreciate it. Sorry, Sons of Fitness. Am I more affiliated with the ABBA or the CPA? At the current time, I would say I'm not affiliated either way with them anymore. I do the majority of the ABBA MC shows, but that has no relevance in terms of my placing as a coach. I know that there is some wacky politics stuffs going on that I'm not going to be willing to talk about right now going in to some of the different leagues, but as of right now, no, I'm a very neutral coach, and they respect me enough to keep it that way. Happy friend anniversary, Ashton. Let's see, like a trade show or vendors. Trade show or vendors there to ask questions. What do you mean by that, Ashton? Okay. What you laughing at, the German neighbor? You're very well, Sons of Fitness. Good luck on the training module. Let me know what you're studying. Thanks a bunch for coming in, Joe. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, Haley, you'll be able to see everything after this. Actually referenced you in here. I'm super proud of you, by the way. Let's see here. Is ephedrine a good appetite suppressant by Kevin Rhodes? Okay, so ephedrine is legal in Canada. You can buy 50 tabs of 8 milligram, and you can pretty much get it anywhere. In the US, you can get it as something called Broncaid, which is, I think, an asthma medication. They're usually not expensive, anywhere between $8 and $15 for a bottle of 50. Now, ephedrine, I think, has got shit on more than any other supplement for no reason. So here's the story for you. There was a bigger Arizona lineman, 350 pounds, dead heat, wearing his football gear, out in the sun, didn't drink enough water, and he passed out on a bunch of ephedrine. Was that ephedrine's fault? No. So that was when it first started saying, oh no, it's killing people. So, but here is the really, and I love saying this to anyone I can, here is why ephedrine was such a bad thing. If you took ephedrine, enough of it, and you mashed it up, and you mixed it with a couple other things, it was very similar to methamphetamine. And it was a cheaper way to do it. So they started doing that, and at that point, so now the ones we can get in Canada are 8 milligram tablets, and 50 of them. You could get 25 milligram tablets and 100 of them. So that was what they were doing to buy and making their kind of this homemade meth thing here. So sure, could you buy 12 of the 8 milligram tablets? Sure, but it's gone significantly further down. So now here, I'm gonna go to the pros of ephedrine. If you are in a tested show, so you are in the ABBA tested stream, you are in the CPA tested stream, you are in the MPAA's tested stream, you're in the IDFA tested stream, you are not allowed to use ephedrine. It's banned. But if you are not, you can take a look at any of the, we'll say, judging criteria. I'm a big fan of ephedrine, and the reason why that is because it's so safe, it's legal, and you can start out at a very slow dose and ramp it up, and that the entire thing behind ephedrine is called something called anorectic. And what that means is it squashes your appetite. Okay, one little 8 milligram pill is all you need to start with. If everyone's getting the jitters and all this stuff, that's when they combine it with caffeine. The original stack was the ECA stack, so it was ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin. And so the aspirin was actually given to very obese people, so I think 350 plus males, 300 plus females. And guess what? When they took out the aspirin, there was no difference. So it's useless for that conjecture. But if you, and this is not direct recommendations from Meg and Marty, but if I were anyone else and I was not jumping back in just to a fitness problem, I'm moderately healthy, I would start out with one 8 milligram tablet in the morning with some water and see how I feel. 5 hours later, maybe another 8 milligram tablet. They're little tiny guys, and just see how I feel. And I time them with my clients in between meals. So like meal 1 at 9, ephedrine at 10:30, meal 2 at 11:30, because that's what helps you get through your day. So how do you get all the bad side effects and the heart racing and all this death from ephedrine? Taking way too damn much of it. You take too much damn vitamin C, you will kill you. It's actually higher up on the list than anabolic steroids. Anabolic steroids have killed 4 people a year in the US, and they're so far low down, it's always something else, people. It's always Percocets, it's always narcotics, it's never ephedrine. Ephedrine is, it's not as bad as you think. So let's go with that. Let me get back up here. Let's see. But yes, so ephedrine that's its prime function is an appetite suppressant. Plus, you might get a little bit of a runnier nose from it. Okay. Was laughing at you being chased by a guy with a gun who owe you money. Yeah, I know, I have to give out analogies or people just really kind of won't get it. Like my mom does for weddings, but for fitness vendors, like my mom does for weddings, but for fitness vendors, their info for bookings is sent. I don't know what you mean by that, Ashton. Sorry. Hey, Big Jason, Big Stud yourself. Okay, Haley, best brand of natural peanut butter. Okay, so you're gonna have to go off a taste by this one. Adam's natural peanut butter is great. I have liked Kraft's natural peanut butter. Just flip around the friggin' tub. If they say, you basically want to be looking for 2 to 3 grams of carbs, 2 to 3 of which are fiber, which is negating out the fiber. And then you're looking at 5 to 7 of fat, maybe 2 to 3 protein. So now that's what natural peanut butter is. So regular Kraft off-the-shelf peanut butter is something like 6 grams of carbs with 1 fat. So now, and then you're looking at not only extra calories but no fiber. So it's completely changed. It's got hydrogenized something in it. So it completely changes the makeup of the peanut butter. But there's a word of caution to this tale. Do not have nut butters as your only source of nuts going into shows. I've seen intolerances, I've seen too much fiber, I've seen it stick to people. Use something like avocados, use some egg yolks, because I've seen not only that, but people tend to not stop using their tablespoon and just freeball it. Just go, yeah, that's good enough. Did you measure that peanut butter? Sure, have it here and there, but I actually like it taken out peak week just for that reason. Damn right you use Kraft, that's my girl. Okay, let's see if I got anything else on here. March shows, MC, learning courses. Click, coaching 2 tips a week. But yes, if any of my clients out there and they're doing 4 times a week of coaching and they're going, I think I might just benefit as much to going down to 2 times a week. Every second week for check-ins. Let me know. It's a newer service I'm trying out just to see if that's what we need. It can be a little bit more economical. I can take on a little bit more clients and help a little bit more people, but for contest prep though, you do need to see me weekly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I need to have that kind of attention with you for sure. So deal with it. Let's see here. Yeah, if you guys haven't heard yet, and when I say me, myself and my co-host Austin Stout do a podcast called the Mind Body Broadcast. We try to put out a new one every Monday. It's available on iTunes. I put it up on my Facebook. I usually put it up on my Instagram. And we're trying to cover a little bit more of the heavier topics, such as we did cyclical dieting, such as when should you have refeeds or when should you have carbs. We covered training intensity. We covered relationships. We covered our top 10 worst supplements, our top 10 best supplements. We're trying to get the info out there that maybe you not have heard, or maybe you've not have heard through us, so that it can be much more of a palatable form for you guys to latch onto and to be able to suck up and then just ask questions back. That would be the best thing possible, because then not only that, but then we give more ideas. Like we have a Q&A one coming up here. The Myths podcast part 1 will be out today, which I'm very pumped about. Is kind of the ones I just went over here to. With some other myths I'll let you know on. We talked about toxins and detoxes. We talked about, is the post-workout, post-training meal that important being immediate? Homeopathy. Are abs really made in the kitchen? And then, what else? Fasted cardio burning more fats. Recomping, is it possible? You must eat every 2 to 3 hours. And yeah, that's what I got off of this. So the last one I'll kind of say on here is, yeah, you guys will know. Go to @MegaMartyCoach for anything I'm on here. I'm going to try to be on Facebook a little bit more. Let me know what you girls and guys think about the idea of my teaching, kind of like a class there. Because I would love to have 8 to 12 people in a Facebook group. It capped off, so that's very intimate, so that you guys get contact with me, get to ask questions just with me, so that you get to learn how to do this stuff as opposed to just not rely off of me. Because one of the differences I was taught between a mentor and a coach is that a coach does things with you. A mentor is teaching you what the coach knows. And the best example I had from one of my mentors named Scott Abel is, think of it like a professional hockey team on a power play. What a power play is when there's 5-on-5 and then a person gets a penalty and now there's 5-on-4 and they have an opportunity to score a goal. So the coach will say, okay, I want you here, you here, you here, you here. And if you were one of the 5 and you go, Coach, I would like to know why I'm on the power play over here doing that. That's because they're now trying to be a mentor, because they're trying to learn exactly what the coach says, as opposed to shutting the F up and doing what the coach says. Because I've seen this happens a couple times and they go, bench. But now mentorship, that's where you're trying to be me so you can coach others. That's an option too. I would love to get that into the future, be able to turn like my 11 years of 11 years here of doing this professionally. I've been doing 18 years now of lifting weights and training my friends. So I love teaching this stuff, boys and girls. So hopefully that'll be what I kind of segue into. I've hired a business coach to really help me out to the golfer's caddy. Man, I have used that analogy so many times, and so I'll explain that to you, since Hollywood mentioned it. There's the golfer's caddy. Is Tiger Woods is the best golf player in the world. Debatable, but he listens to Butch Harmon. Butch Harmon will get smoked up and down the green all day. But guess what? Who listens to him? Exactly, his number one golfer, Tiger Woods, because he just knows the game that better. And that's just kind of it. It's like I've seen so many mistakes on myself. I've seen things that, like, either because I didn't have the genetics. We just did a genetics podcast that can really kind of sort that out for you. Say, what is genetics? What does it even friggin' mean? Can we do that? Is it a viable option? Is it stupid? But yeah, so to go into that. But yeah, the golf caddy is like me standing kind of in the background saying, yeah, shoot with this 3-iron. And Donovan would be like, 3-iron, really? I say, shut up, shoot with the 3-iron. Before I know it, birdie, hole in one, whatever your friggin' kind of terminology is there. I'm going to leave this open for another 5 minutes here if anyone's got any kind of quick questions for me. I really appreciate everyone coming out. I know it's fairly early. And if you have any topics you'd like me to debate for next time on here, I would love to crush them out for you. I'm going to be saving this video. I'm going to be putting it on Facebook, hopefully on YouTube as well. And yeah, so I'll give you another 5 minutes here before I blast off. Thanks everyone so much for coming out and seeing my wild hair. Let's see if I can get it in the whole stratosphere here for you. I don't know if I can do it. I'm not bald yet, but it's coming, right? Yeah. Okay, pro CBD oil. Okay, when you mean pro, what do you mean by pro CBD oil, Donovan? Like, am I pro CBD oil? No, I'll talk about it anyway. So funny enough, I got a hold of all the judges in the natural federations and the tested federations, and all of them came back with a green light on CBD oil. So in other words, you're allowed to use it. I have seen one of my clients, he'll remain nameless. He was able to go off of, he went off of his CBD oil, and he had manic episodes to the point where he couldn't think, to the point where he was kind of banging his head against the fridge, and it is the only thing that has calmed him down. So that only sold me, but then I started using it. The potential for CBD oil to get rid of anxiety, to get you to kind of help sleep. Like, I had a couple clients that would smoke weed before bed, and that would kind of, jime out their thoughts or whatever. So I think there's lots into it, man. It's not that expensive, and the health benefits are showing there. Now, THC oil, I'm still a little bit out to lunch on now, but CBD oil, I think it's worth looking into, man. Do you use your advice using help with inflammation and such? Inflammation, kind of, but it is more for the mind. It is to give you a restful, more sleep. I think the brands I have right now are called Aurora. Donovan, I can send you the text of them right now. I think they're $80 to $100, and I want to say they last me 2 to 3 months. So. Like, send me a screenshot of yours, the one you have, but we'll see if it's a reputable brand or not, because especially now in Canada, they're so widely available that we can friggin' chat up and make sure you get the best one on that one, brother. Okay, anyone else here? Before I just play with my hair, just feel a little bit. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, damn. That's pretty good. Ooh. Ooh. It's 8:53. I'll give it to 8:55 here. Then I have another appointment. Yeah, right back at you, Donovan, man. Miss you in that leg day. Thanks, Bree. Yeah, hopefully you got a little bit more info there. I want to talk to you, lady, too, see how your off season going there. Because you may just you actually listened to a little bit of my advice and you chill it down a little bit. And I bet you're seeing some phenomenal growth. So I'd really like to hear from you on how kind of everything's going for you. Well, you know what? Very quickly, screw it. I will just show everybody the gym facility I have here where Sarah and I have been doing our videos. So yeah, we have kind of full everything here. Sorry, I'll just be a second. Full dumbbells. Got a hex bar. Got a full squat rack. Got a cable crossover, kind of a miniature one. Lat pull down. And this is kind of the neatest thing, I would say. This is one of the reasons I picked this place, was to be able to have posing seminars, which is just so incredible. So this is a yoga studio. Come on in here. We can book this off so you get to see my posing, which is obviously all you'd ever need in the world. But yeah. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna do some more stuff in this in the next year here. Again, let me know about this. Let me know if you want more in depth, less in depth. And I will catch you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in.